today. I think throughout the show I'm going to read an email, or at least segments from an email. BuzzFeed apparently got them from a place called DC Leaks, which has been reported, but it's not confirmed. I'm just quoting this from BuzzFeed, that it is an entity associated with the Russians. Who knows? But that's what it's been reported. We know if that's the case. I don't know. I mean, I don't understand why Colin Powell's emails would necessarily be the ones that you'd want to leak if you're from Russia. But maybe they hack into everybody's and they just find ones that they think are interesting and then they send those out. Here's Colin Powell on Benghazi. And apparently he was writing to Condi Rice. It's nice that they're still friends. They get together, they talk about that one time that supposedly they got lied to and led the country into war and hundreds of thousands of people get killed over a couple of glasses of wine. And you think I'm making up that wine part? No. Here is an email from Colin Powell to Condi Rice, 2015, about Benghazi. Benghazi is a stupid witch hunt. Basic fault falls on a courageous ambassador who thoughts. It's nice to know he doesn't spend a lot of time proofreading himself. Who thoughts Libyans now love me and I am okay in this very vulnerable place. It's Powell writing to Condoleezza Rice. But blame also rests on his leaders and supports back here. Pat Kennedy, Intel Community, DS, and yes, HRC. Completely agree, Rice responds, adding, let me know when you're in town and we'll have that glass of wine, in parens, or two. In other words, let's get effed up. I mean, remember that time? Remember that time you went to the UN and you were talking about those mobile weapons labs, mass destruction? He just goes, yeah, that bottle of anthrax. That's what it's like. That's what happens on the second glass of wine. This is a nice one as they get, as Condi and Colin Powell get wasted. So, like I said, this is from DCLeaks.com, which apparently gave it to BuzzFeed. So, in 2015, Powell initiates an email exchange with Condi Rice. And this comes in the wake of Bob Woodward, I guess, disputing Rumsfeld in saying that when Rumsfeld came out and said, and I guess Rumsfeld was what? He was promoting his new, what, his cookbook or something? What did he come out of the woodwork for in 2015? He was promoting something. His book, I don't know, some type of like travel show. I don't know what he was doing. Barbecue?
A book of quotes, I think it might have been.
Some type of cook, who knows? Who knows what it was? Was the title of the book, I Can't Believe I'm Not in Jail? So Rumsfeld came out, apparently gave some interviews saying...
Rumsfeld's Rules, I believe.
Oh, there you go.
Leadership, lessons, in business, politics, war, and life.
Right. It's too bad it wasn't like a barbecue cookbook. So Rumsfeld came out and was saying that he had always been skeptical of creating a democracy in Iraq. And so Powell writes about Woodward's comments. Maybe Woodward says that, no, they really had thought they were going to create a democracy. I don't know. I mean, who knows what Woodward... I don't think terribly highly of Bob Woodward either, frankly. You heard about that story. I got chastised, right, at that book talk by his partner. Did you hear that? We did a reading. I was asked to introduce people for a reading of the movie All the President's Men. And Woodward was not there. Bernstein was there. This was back in like 2006, maybe. And so I went up and I said, it's fitting that Bob Woodward's not here because that Bob Woodward is not here anywhere. He's now just sticking his thumb in the wind and trying to make money selling books. And so everybody came up to sit down. There was a lot of top flight actors, I think, in that. And Carl Bernstein was playing a role in the reading. And he stopped the reading. It went about a couple of sentences, and he stopped it. And he said, I have to respond to what that man said. And I was sitting at the audience at the time with Nikki. And he said, that's completely basic. Bob Woodward's a great guy. That's disgusting, what he said. It made it into the Post that I got chastised. We didn't stay. We didn't stay. The food wasn't very good. So here's Colin Powell. First, we didn't invade Iraq to bring democracy. It's weird, the idea that these guys would be talking about this, right? Back and forth in some way. Like they had never, it's had never come up. Yeah. It's weird. First, we didn't invade Iraq to bring democracy. But once we overthrew Saddam, we had a view of what should follow. Rice responded, oh, no, I'm sorry. So I guess this is Rice responded. If Don and the Pentagon had done their job after claiming the rights to lead post-war rebuilding, things might have turned out differently. Don should just stop talking, she added. He put his foot in his mouth every time. Powell replied by seconding Rice's critique, saying the boys in the band were brain dead. Doug and Paul, it's talking about Feith, Doug Feith, and Paul Wolfowitz, claims, again, they had a plan. Turn Iraq and our army over to Shalabi and leave, Powell wrote. 43 knew what had to be done. That's George Herbert Walker Bush. Specifically rejected Shalabi crowd, and as you say, the boys in the band were brain dead.
43 is W.
Yeah, 43 is... Oh,
W.
Wow. Wow. So I guess he specifically rejected Shalabi, even though that's why they invaded. It's unbelievable. It's almost as if they wrote that with an eye to, like, I think this one will go in my archives. I'm a little skeptical about it, to be honest with you. But it's been leaked. Maybe Powell put it out there. Because one of them is knocking... one talks about why Clinton can't tie him to the whole email thing. And then another is basically saying that Donald Trump is racist and his supporters are racist. I'm totally shocked by that. He's so sensitive, Colin Powell. And remember when he came out and he bravely held that conference to talk about Donald Trump? And he said, Donald Trump is racist. This guy should not be president. And I'm going to stake my career. Oh, wait a second. No, I'm sorry. I was thinking of a completely imaginary figure named Colin Powell, who's one of our greatest statesmen who has done crap, except for release, have his emails leaked. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I got confused between this sort of vaguely soft-spoken guy and someone who actually exhibited some measure at one point. I mean, how many times has Colin Powell had now to sort of stand up and stop something horrible from happening? You know, how many times in your lifetime do you get as a human being to actually say, you know what? my actions could actually have a significant impact on the outcome of history and perhaps hundreds of thousands or millions of people's lives. How many opportunities do you get to do that? And how many opportunities do you get to just sort of say, go with the flow and still be considered one of America's greatest statesmen? You know, like, I get it. You know, most people don't rise to that occasion, and probably with a decent amount of good reason. But I just don't think that you should still be able to, like, be considered one of America's greatest statesmen. And having basically just, I punted. I punt a lot. That's the way I became. That's how I became one of America's greatest statesmen. I'm a great punter. Hey folks, Sam Seder here. I just got back from a company-wide meeting. Accounting is really coming down on me hard. We need to get to 100,000 subscribers as soon as possible. So please enjoy this channel. Subscribe right up, right down there.